Greetings and welcome to Unispirical Love, Spirituality in a Modern World. I am an ordained Reverend of Divine Energy. Wherever I go, it's a church. Now you can have religion or organized religion, and yes, you can have spirituality as religion or as an organized religion. All religions around the world are simply a belief system. Now you have to look at everything from a different perspective when you step in the world of spirituality. Spirituality was around since the beginning of Earth existence. It's around before humans inhabited Earth. When you look through science, you have the 5 kingdoms. One is the fungi, life, and I've said it before on other videos. Keep in mind, I was blessed with all of God's gifts. That's the way this life for me was meant to be. Now, my AC is on because I live in the desert. Yay, you don't turn it off because I'm not into melting. I just took a shower. I'm not into sweating. And it's my day off. So it's like, no. So, you're going to hear the AC, and I'm permanently deaf because of radiation cancer treatment in my right ear. It takes time to hear things. And it depends upon how much muck is in the air. And when there's a lot of muck, that muck is basically human negative emotion. It is the dust, the debris, everything that is creating toxins through bacteria and viruses. And me being a HEB, highly enlightened being, I pick up all that energy. I see with my third eye, mind's eye, people's energy and what toxins they carry within their being. It radiates from their being because it starts from the aura, emotional body of being, 28 chakras. Each color then illuminates through the portals, which are called chakras. Now, color on the color spectrum is the only way you can actually see the rainbow colors. The human eye can only see a certain amount of colors. You have to be able to see with human eyes and vision with the whole being. Just like humans have ears, they hear with their human ears, but they listen with their whole being. That's how it works. So you have to understand what level your energy is on as to what level you are projecting through your portals to the world to accept. Hello, bring it down, buddy. Bring it down. Let's learn how to balance. I love using a new... Oh, the reason why I was talking about color is this is a color. Since I've had 6 aura pictures in my life, and they come up actually violet, and violet is the 8th chakra, which is the spirit realm. So I live in 5D 5th dimension and 3D 3rd dimension, which is Earth's physical realm, simultaneously. So I live in dream state, wake state, one moment in time state of being. That's the way that I live. That's the way I was born in this lifetime. And you have to learn your natural gifts. These are God's gifts. This is your natural innate ability gifts that you're born with, your talents. And you have to hone in on those to know who you are. How in the world are you ever going to understand any person, place, or thing if you can't understand yourself? Seriously? Hello? Anybody home upstairs? Not much there. Obviously. Now, learn who you are, what is your point and purpose of being here, which I was born in knowing already. Bringing it down to what I know from 5D fifth dimension into 3D third dimension into human language is a foreign language. It's actually a very foreign concept because humans have not learned how to evolve to where they're supposed to be at right now. Now, the color that I regulate at is violet, which is the 8th chakra. Now, I get a lot of my clothes. I get a few of them. Over the years was always the thrift shop. Why was I going to pay money as a landscaper? I'm working in dirt and grease, for Pete's sake, like a mechanic. Why would I go and pay a lot of money for clothes? Work clothes. Are you kidding me? My work clothes over the years cost, the jeans would cost $4 to $6, and they would last me a couple years. Why would I want to go and pay extra money? Please, dirt doesn't care what fashion you wear. Everybody else cares about fashion. I call it superficial, ultimate boring. I was a model in California for years. It's ultimate boring. Just like working in accounting for 13 years. Ultimate boring. Because everyone sees this as important. To me, it's just superficial. It has nothing to do whatsoever in your life path to your soul path. That is important. This is what you will conquer. Not what everybody else says, does, and thinks. Hello, that's 3D, third dimension. That's the ultimate boring. And then you wonder why things don't work out. Okay. Now, for me, I like to try different things out. So that means I'm going to try out different languages. And I get 20 years of side effects from the cancer and cancer treatments of nasopharynx cancer, where sinus tumor, progressive tumor moved up to the middle of my head, and where the sinuses meet, the cancer was eating the bone in my head. The only reason why I keep mentioning this is I'm not my disease. My disease is not me. People that live in illness, sickness, and disease is like, woe is me, right? And where are you going to get with that? Self-pity? Hello? That's called a deadly sin. Why do you want to end up creating more havoc in your life and die that much sooner? Is it really that important? Well, if it is, then just get a gun, alright? Get it over with, for Pete's sake. Otherwise, when I went to the hospital, the doctor says, whatever they said, I don't remember. I told him, I said, listen, I don't have time for this crap. I've got things to do. I got a life to live. And 4 weeks after they did the treatment, the cancer was gone. Because I don't have time for this. I have things to do. I'm a very busy person. And yes, I'm 60 years old, and I've always been busy. I will do more in one lifetime than most people do in 10 lifetimes. I'm not coming back to do this muck again. I learn everything I need to learn. I will teach everything I need to teach, and then some. Because that's a whole nother ballgame, and I will tell you how to reach those portals in time. Like I said, I have 5 different workshops. I'm on a time crunch. And the 5 different workshops, I will put those online. Metaphysical Healing Art 101 workshop, that's the physical body of being. Metaphysical Healing Art 201 workshop, that is the emotional body of being, all the way up to Metaphysical Healing Art 501 workshop. And yes, they'll be online, and you can take those classes, and of course it'll be a non-credit, so you get a certificate. And that's what NPO, non-profit organization, does. I have a church, and in the church I will then offer the workshops. It's a 20-year plan. I started in my 20s. I needed a government job. The first 3 jobs I ever had, private. Went out of business. This ain't gonna work. I need a real job. I want a government job. Got it in my 40s. But in my 30s, started working part-time government jobs. I could do 11 different positions for that school district. Healthcare assistant, secretary, HVAC, that's heating and air conditioning. We ain't doing plumbing or electrical. But I did a lot of other, nurse's assistant, a lot of other stuff. And gardening and just a lot of other stuff, right? So, with that in turn, then you go to different districts. I got 8 different school districts under my belt and 2 different states. They're all the same. I needed a government job. I saw my first gang mower. That's 15-foot wingspan, 11 blades, 4-wheel drive, and hydraulics. It is heavy equipment. I don't play with the little boy toys you got at the home improvement, little riding baby mowers. No. Mine is 15-foot wingspan. This is hydraulic diesel 11 blade mower. This is the big boy toys. My truck is a 550 10-cylinder dump truck that pulls the trailer that's 18,000 pounds that carries the mower. This is heavy equipment. This I knew I wanted to do the first second I saw it when I was 30. So 20, I wanted a government job. When I'm in my 30s, I wanted to be a gang mower. I hit 40, voila, I got my government job. 2 years later, I got my gang mower job. That's the way it is. You got to do about the planning. So the planning is, when I'm 20, I needed a government job and a place to live when I'm in my 60s. So what did I do? I bought over 5 acres of land in my 20s in a state I'd never been to. And then less than $50 a year I pay in property tax because I need a place to live in my 60s. And I'm 60 now. I retire in 5 more years. It's about the planning. That's what life is about. If you want to receive what you want, you must plan out the details, which I have done. For me, each and every day, because there's no such thing as yesterday nor tomorrow. It's only today that you grow in personal growth. Each and every day, the spirit realm will send me a pictograph or a chicken scratch. A chicken scratch is a language in a foreign language recently or thousands of years ago. I then have to interpret, what does this mean? So you're interpreting codes. The codes are coded messages. You have to learn how to interpret symbologies and metaphors as the spirit realm sends to you. You learn how to interpret the coded messages. So the spirit realm, all my life, sends me this information. Used to be in the form of a sentence. That sentence is technically in human language is like 3 paragraphs. It's a lot of information. But as a Gemini, I've learned how to interpret the coded messages, and I'm learning in many, many years how to bring it down into human terms. I like to also incorporate different vocabulary into my way of communicating with the spirit realm and with other beings on earth. Now, for balance is kosher. Motif is fashion. So, namaste is greetings or welcome. So, namaste, kosher, motif. Greetings through balance, through fashion. Lifestyle. Fashion is a lifestyle. Your lifestyle is the work you do, the clothes you wear, all that little idiosyncrasy stuff that is boring. Okay, here we go. Moving on. It's not important. Trust me. Now, basically, I find it is amazingly odd. I'm constantly teaching Google the correct spelling of a word, or Microsoft Word a new dialect because of limitations in foreign language. Sometimes I feel as if they are mentally capacitated of a 5-year-old human child. Same as science has determined many years ago that chimpanzees have the mental capacity of a 5-year-old human child. What a coinkydink, and the two facets of Google and Microsoft are supposed to be teaching the future youth of human species. The things that make you go, really? And then some, right? And then, bore me, yes. Okay, as I watch with human eyes, I see the world unfold before my being. As I watch everything unfold simultaneously in synchronicity, the particles create a puzzle that must be solved. The goal of a Gemini is to conquer the mind, and this I have done. This is the spiritual adventure that lives in and on Earth to have a human experience. In order to understand what your adventure and your experience is, you must step into Zen. Zen is becoming at one with all. You do this through being and doing. Being is one world, and doing is another world. Being is to be silent. Being and being still. Doing is action and being. As you, which means self. Self is learning to be still by being, and doing is by action. A thought is an action. Quiet the thought, and self becomes still in being. Center point of infinity is being still, and that is the number 0 in the time sequence on the timeline. Doing is action. It is number 1 in the time sequence on the timeline. The number 2 is the dualistic nature in the time sequence on the timeline. The number 3 is the trilogy in the time sequence on the timeline. The number 4 is the quadratic equation of the 4 bodies of being in the time sequence on the timeline. The number 5 is 5D, fifth dimension, on the time sequence on the timeline. And the numbers, of course, are infinite. Yeah, I'm trying to do 2 things at one time. I'm learning. And that's what it's all about, right? Woo, we went a little too far. The goal is 3D third dimension to 5D fifth dimension in moment in time. 3D third dimension is time, space, and mass matter in 3D third dimension, and that is 0. You are self. Self is 0 in center point of infinity. 3D third dimension is in Earth's physical realm, in the human 5 senses, in the moment, in the emotion, in the primordial body of being, in fight or flight mechanism, in eat or be eaten. 5D fifth dimension is of which is above 3D third dimension above Earth. 3D third dimension is the human brain. 5D fifth dimension is the mind. 3D third dimension correlates to the hemispheres in the human brain. The human brain is life path, what everyone else says, does, and thinks. When a person, self, follows what everybody else says, does, and thinks, that is the frontal lobe of the brain. That is the rational part. That is practical, down-to-earth, common sense. I've said for many years in life, in this lifetime, I've said for many years in this lifetime, the world is 98% psychosomatic and 2% DNA genes. I said that for about 15 years now. Psychosomatic is and lives in the frontal lobe of the human brain. The frontal lobe of the brain, and this is where the substance gene in DNA is. When humans self follow life path, it is fate. There are lessons that are called love lessons. Self is 0, and 0 is space. Self is 0 and is self activates through action. Self becomes number 1. This is a vibration. All numbers are vibrations. All vibrations are colors. As self becomes a 1 vibration, self transcends the color red from the auric self that transcends through the portals called chakras. The human species self contains 28 chakras. In numerology, 28 equals 1. The number 1 is self in action. Self in the vibration in 1 is to learn to conquer the number 0, which is 0 vibration in center of infinity. These are through the love lessons of good, bad, and otherwise. To learn and teach the love lessons, you must stop and learn to be. Be still in mind, body, emotion, spirit. The mental body, the emotional body, the physical body, the spiritual body are the 4 bodies of being that create the core of being. The 4 bodies of being are the 4 quadrants of personality. The core of being is the soul. The soul is 5D 5th dimension. The soul is the teacher to the spirit that is the student. The spirit is the teacher to the human that is the student. The soul sends coded messages from 5D 5th dimension through the portals into 3D 3rd dimension. This is how self communicates telepathically from soul path to life path and life path to soul path. Life path is 3D 3rd dimension and 5D 5th dimension is soul path. As telepathically images in pictographs and chicken scratch transcend through the portals, it is a vibration of number sequence that transcends into a color in 3D 3rd dimension. The soul is God that has transcended into a creator that creates energy in center of infinity. God is the creator and you are a creator. To believe that you are a co-creator is the same thing as saying you are equal to God. Really? With this in mind, you have now created your karmic debt in universal law instead of being in mindset that you are a creator, which then will create karmic credit. The other way, you've created karmic debt. Really, who needs more debt, honestly? Self is constantly creating karmic credit and karmic debt. The only thing inevitable in life is change. Self creates change through karmic credit and karmic debt. This is dualistic nature. This is the number 2 on the time sequence on the timeline in infinity. Each being in each species is and on Earth lives in 2 different worlds simultaneously. Your internal self lives in needs. Your external self lives in wants. The internal self is internal landscape. The question is always, who is in control? You or your ego? Who is in control? You or your mind? Who is in control? You or your emotions? Who is in control? You or your physical body? Who is in control? You or your spiritual body? These are the part of who you are in this lifetime. The parts as self goes deeper becomes particles that are part of the whole. That's what it's about. That is trilogy. Particles are part of the whole. Alright, we went a little too far. Which is overriding at any given moment in time. It is your wants or needs. Wants are ego. Ego is internal landscape. Whatever you want in life, you will receive it in the form of a lesson. Whatever you want in life, the universe will send you the form of a lesson. You always get what you want, but not how you wanted it because you were not specific in what you wanted. When I first stated you live in 2 different worlds simultaneously, just some would probably give an odd look, while others have pondered the thought and come up with their own conclusions, while assuming what is being said. To assume is to judge. To judge is judging one's own inadequacies. This is karmic debt, a deadly sin. In order to learn in life, we must ask for clarification. Always, when I am giving a session, aka sermon, having a writing utensil and something to write on, because this information is for your future self. I learned a very long time ago, many lifetimes ago, all creatures on earth live in two different worlds simultaneously. Just living in life is merely just existing. That is the internal landscape of lower vibration in the 28 chakras. In the physical body, your goal on a daily adventure is to live in the green chakra. It is connected to the brow chakra, and that is the mind's eye in third eye chakra. The green chakra is the heart chakra. You receive messages through lessons from the universe into your third eye chakra. These are coded messages that you must decipher through the human brain that passes into the heart chakra. At that time, you choose to decipher the coded messages through internal or external landscape of needs or wants. It is in the land of want, and I have said for many years, the world is 98% psychosomatic and 2% DNA genes. Self-create psychosomatic and optical illusions in wishful thinking, utopia. That is brainwashing. That is not the real world. 2% DNA gene are the genes that are from your past lives brought into this life in this lifetime, simply because these are unlearned lessons that you must still learn how to learn in this life. Now, 2% DNA genes are the genes from past lives. Self creates psychosomatic optical illusions in order to deal with in brain and copes with emotion, within emotion. The optical illusion of what everyone else says, does, and thinks. That is the land of psychology, man-made law, and man-made concept. In the land of reasoning and deduction, and universal law creates the deadly sins. You see where we're going with this? Like I said, get paper and pencil, or get your computer, start taking notes because you're in class, folks. As always, my credentials are, I am human. Human history has a tendency to believe in brainwashing for some very odd reason, which eludes my being. I will say, on a side note, I have a degree in behavioral science anthropology. Now, as an anthropologist, you go into another culture, you document your findings of that culture. Now, as you're documenting, you're not forming an opinion, you don't conversate with people, you don't eat their food, nothing. You're documenting as a scientist. That is the observer. When you've learned how to elevate yourself, you become the observee. You are observing yourself, observing the culture. You see what I'm saying? You're going in between the between. Now, when you become the observer and the observee, you are becoming a balanced being. You are becoming kosher in self. Alright? Now, this is what I do all my life naturally before I got a college degree. It's just you know the things in life, you know what you know. And this is what you need to do to get to where you need to go, because you already know. So it's like I'm doing what I already know. And so I go and I get degrees and certificates and all that, because everybody and their brother systematically thinks in brainwashing, hey, proof is in the pudding. You got that degree, then you're the real deal. You being a human being and saying what you say is not the real deal. Alright, so I'm a human first. And how many people can say that? Alright? To me, the human species is a very odd species that are so predictable and is absolutely hilarious each and every day. There is no such thing as yesterday nor tomorrow. It is only today that counts in personal growth. The proof is in the pudding. With this in mind, my credentials are as follows. I am Reverend Dr. Lewis, DDIB, PhD, CIP, CFP, CMLC, CBO, 3 different types of cancer survivor, retired PO3 Petty Officer 3rd Class for the United States Naval Reserve. I have 25 years of college, 6 college degrees, 16 diplomas and certificates. I'm an HEB, Doctor in Trilogy. HEB is a highly enlightened being. Doctor in Trilogy means I have 2 doctor degrees and I'm working on my 3rd doctor degree. I'm a human being, and that is my credentials. For some odd reason, in the brainwashing landscape, humans want acronyms of credentials behind their name, and I just gave you a whole mouthful. These are my 2 credentials that are man-made concepts of college degrees. Now, if you go to Yale or Stanford, high-end university, in the Department of Philosophy, what do you have? You have metaphysics. And metaphysics, you can get a degree in that. And I have a degree in metaphysics. I did not go to Stanford. I did not go to Yale. Lo and behold, I got all of my college degrees in my lifetime for free. You gotta know what you want in order to receive what you want. It's called planning. That's how life is. I got my jobs, I got my degrees, I got my place to live, I got it all because I already knew what I needed to do to get to where I needed to go. It's about the planning. And I will show about that when I start my workshops. Remember, I'm on a time crunch. That means that those workshops will open when I retire. So just hold on to your belts. I got 4.5 years. I got at least 20 projects I'm going. I have 2 years done, 18 more to go, and side effects from cancer and cancer treatments. So I'm in the process of healing. So I'm doing projects, healing. I'm working 4 businesses at the same time, and I'm working a full-time job. I got a heavy load. Lots and lots of things to do because I'm on a time crunch, and the time is passing by very fast. Now, in the land of man-made concepts and secular education, government education, and brainwashing, I have 25 years of this man-made concept, and it is not natural. It is intelligent as taught through brainwashing. Intellect is teaching human behavioral patterns of optical illusions of wishful thinking in utopia. Natural is esoteric. Esoteric is knowledge. Knowledge comes from 5D 5th dimension. And I went too far. Knowledge comes from thousands of years past knowledge and thousands of years of future knowledge to be brought into one moment in time to grow in personal growth. All of my life I studied worldly everything and researched worldly everything in order to create the hypotheses and theories in and of energy in this life, in this lifetime. I've always been a very shy person. I'm an only child. When I was young, we moved every 6 months. I went to 13 different schools in 13 different states by the time I was 13 years old. When I started school at the age of 6, I was in 1st grade. We had a writing assignment. I wrote with my left hand. The teacher smacked my right hand with a ruler and said, "We don't write like that. We use our right hand." That created a land of discovery. Later in life, I received 2 ganglion cysts, carpal tunnel, and tendonitis in my right wrist. A ganglion cyst is a tissue that grows and has a tail. The tail grows and wraps around your bone until it gets to your heart. You're dead. Yeah, thanks, teach. As a child, of course, you listen to grown-ups because you think they know more than you, because they are educated. I now have 30 years professional landscaping. I have worked in 8 different school districts in 2 different states. I'm 60 years old. Throughout my life, I have learned to put a positive twist on a negative. When teachers are teaching future generations, such as the teacher I had when I was young, I simply say in my mind, educated? Educated in what? Obviously not in practical down-to-earth common sense. Practical down-to-earth common sense in human brain Common knowledge is knowledge passed down from knowledge of thousands of years ago and thousands of years into the future. Each being in and of existence lives in practical, down-to-earth common sense and common knowledge. I am a spiritual counselor, a spiritual healer, a spiritual teacher. I am Unispirical Muse, an HEB guide in 3D third dimension for all dimensional beings in and of Earth. I've had 6 different aura pictures, which shows I live in the 8th chakra, and that is the spirit realm. I'm a natural born healer. I was born in this lifetime with very highly enlightened senses that are God's gifts to me for this life in this lifetime. My recent cancer treatments of radiation and chemotherapy cancer treatments, I could smell the cancer cells burning in my head. The nurse said children that have cancer and sensitive people can also smell that. My senses are wide open. I can see things people don't see. I hear things people don't hear. I mean, I'm a seer, which is beyond vision quest, okay? That visionary is now. A seer sees into the future of past and present. Past, present, future. The universe keeps bringing me back so that I can enlighten species on Earth in this lifetime. This is my mission that the universe has set me on to complete in this lifetime. I am here to help humans reconnect mind, body, emotion, spirit into one love, self-love. Mission statement: to spiritually awaken lost souls by remembering point and purpose in this lifetime. Life is easy if you let it, and hard if you make it. Simplicity and moderation are keys to happiness. Vision statement: my energy is unique, one of a kind, and different. I am here to shake up your world and release it from perception of 3D imaging, perceived as real illusion. Each moment of every second, we are energy that swims within infinity, and to repeat lessons until we realize we are all one energy. I have always watched the world through the eyes of a child, felt the emotions of the world, hear the tones of the universe, touch the inspirations of the future, and taste the sensations of life to awaken cosmic consciousness. On a side note, there are 5 levels of consciousness. You got your 3 going on with the Freudian thought: id, ego, and superego. This is the spirit realm. There are 5 levels of consciousness. My mission statement and vision statement I wrote back in yesteryear of 2007 for my website, onespirituallove.com. That is the number 1, spiricallove.com. Years later, when I received my PhD, my advisor wrote me a letter, and she said, "You have a beautiful mind, and it is a few millennia beyond most earthlings. A millennia is 1,000 years, and I have a few of them. I was born in this life. I was recreated, rebirthed, and reincarnated in this lifetime. For those that truly understand the 3 different levels of love that transcends the transparencies of cosmic consciousness through the vibrations of rhythmic rhythms, is when self is, all is one, and one is all." And as I said, I will have the workshops available, and when they are, I will be posting on my website. Now I've updated my YouTube channel so you can see I have my podcast. I started that when I was going through cancer treatment, sitting at home on disability, bored out of my ever-loving mind. What was I going to do? I got to do something. I'm a Gemini. Geminis play mental gymnastics, so it's like, right? So you got to give it a purpose. That's the whole problem with most people, is that they don't understand you have a purpose. Your mind will go amok. Your toxins in your being will go amok unless you give it a purpose. Everything has to have a purpose. You go into meditation, You have a purpose. You go into sleep, you go to bed, you go to sleep. You have a purpose while you're in your sleep. You always have a purpose. That's what it's about. You create that purpose. Nobody creates that purpose for you but you. That is your power. You are creating your power through your purpose. Now, look for the workshops. Slowly but surely, I give increments, and I've been giving increments since 2007. Nothing new. We got 2023. So, if we go from 2007 to 2023, obviously I've been doing this a pretty long time. There's nothing new. I just didn't speak much. Even while being married, in college, raising my children, whatever I'm doing, I didn't speak much. When I hit 50, I blew open the doors. Because people say, they want this. I'm thinking, are you sure? I'm a boomerang. I'll give you what you want. And it blows people's mind. They look at me when I explain stuff like they're a deer and I'm the headlights coming there. Right? They're like, everything went blank. It's like, really? Learn to become the observer and the observee simultaneously at one moment in time. Then you will learn that all is one and one is all. And life is love. Love is life. Blessing from Reverend Lewis, and thank you for your support. Have a beautiful, blessed day. And remember to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And blessings to you.